Ansa, papastem tsikaso. Today I'm going to tell you a legend that was shared with me a long time ago. Ay, yes, by one of our kihtihiak, our elders. And this story is all about Kikpahagyo. It's all about Wolverine and uh, and what happened to Kikpahagyo. Ay, yes. But as Nihawak, we are told that, ay, yes, long ago, there was a year when there was hardly anything for none of the animals to eat. Everyone was starving and they were having a hard time finding food. So the animals all got together and they said, you know what, this year we need to work together. There's almost makpay food, makpay mitson out there. So we need to work together to try and help each other to survive the winter. So we'll all the animals, the wolves, the muswa, the Moses, all of these animals decided to work together. And Muswa finally stepped forward and said, I'll sacrifice one of my children so we can all share in it together. So all of the animals, they harvested this Muswa that was gifted to them. But they were told they had to share it together, all the coyotes, all the wolves, all the little creatures. But they were told they had to work together and share. And Wolverine was part of that group. So together they harvested this moose and they decided, well, we need to put it up in a cache in a tree. So back then we didn't have freezers or anything, so they needed to keep the meat away from other animals and protect it. So what they do is they find 4 trees together and they put logs way up high in the tree, and that's where they store the meat. So they all worked hard together and they put this muswa on top of that cache. And they rationed it through this hard winter, cold, hard winter. They'd go up, climb the cache, get just enough for everybody to have, just enough to survive. Not enough to get full on or anything, but just enough to survive. And they did this for a long time, and finally, Wolverine decided, well, I don't get fed enough. I'm still hungry. And he thought, well, everybody's sleeping, and at night he'd go sneaking and he'd climb up the cache, fill his stomach a little bit more, and then he'd come crawl back down and cover his tracks, and he'd go back to the rest of the animals. Finally, the animals started noticing this. So, like, what's going on? We're taking care of this food we have, but we seem to be running lower and lower. It's not right. Meanwhile, Wolverine was getting more and more hungrier and hungrier. He was getting greedy because he was feeding himself more than the other animals. Finally, he just went up the cache, sat with this muswa, and he was sitting there, and he thought, I'm just going to sit here. I'm going to stay on this muswa, and I'm going to just fill myself up. So he started filling his stomach up and eating and eating and eating till he couldn't move, and he laid there just so happy, a big belly. Next day, the other animals come to get some food up there, and here Wolverine was sitting in the cache with a fat belly, and he heard them coming. So they started climbing the tree. Wolverine, what are you doing? What are you doing? That's it. We're coming up there. We're going to take all of that muswa out of there, the rest of it, and we're going to protect it from you. So they were trying to climb the tree, but Wolverine was a mean fella, and he started throwing sticks at them, and he would swat his claws at them and growl at them when they try and climb up, and they couldn't get to the rest of this moose. So for the rest of the winter, days and days and days, the other animals would try and get at this meat. Wolverine would sit there, fill his belly, and sleep at night all filled up, his stomach fat, and he was laughing at the rest of the animals starving. Well, he just about ate up this moose. Finally, the other animals said, "You know what? We're gonna fix this Wolverine. We're gonna keep him in that tree. We're not gonna let him come. We're gonna make sure he can't come down." Wolverine started to get thirsty. He thought, "Oh, I gotta go get a drink of water," and he tried to come down. But all the wolves and the fox and all the other animals, they'd bark at him and they'd claw at him and they'd growl at him and throw sticks at him and chase him back up there. So Wolverine was stuck up there on this cache, eating this moose. Finally, even the bones he was eating, his jaws were so, he was so desperate and hungry, he was finally just eating the bones. Meat was all gone. He ate everything. Finally, there was nothing left to eat. But the other animals, they kept guard on the tree. They wouldn't let him down. And Wolverine was finally, after the moose was muck quiet, there was absolutely nothing left. He was stuck up on this tree freezing, and now he's really started to get hungry because he'd been so used to having a full belly, and now he was starving. The other animals were fine, but he was starving because he got so used to being fat. After a few days, he was getting desperate, trying to come down the trees, and the other animals were after him, barking at him, wolves and coyotes, wouldn't let him come down from that tree. But still, Wolverine was just skinny, and he finally, he begged the other animals, can you please let me learn my lesson? I'm gonna die here. I'm starving to death." Finally, the wolves, coyotes, foxes, and all the other animals, they told him, "Fine, we're gonna let you down from this cache now. Now that you hopefully you learned your lesson from being greedy, and look at what happens when you're greedy. From now on, none of the animals are gonna want to be around you. You can be by yourself. And if we ever see you, we're gonna chase you down, and we're gonna do bad things to you if we ever catch you, boy. How greedy you are." So we're told that to this day, Wolverine still stays all by himself because none of the animals wanted anything to do with him. All because of what happened all those years ago. But you know what? Today, Wolverine is still greedy. And he still tries to go steal food from other people. He won't kill it himself. He'll go stealing food. But still, the other animals are still after him. And if they see Wolverine, uh, wolves, coyotes, every other animal will chase him down. And they won't stop chasing him. All because of what Wolverine did all those years ago. So now you know the story of Wolverine as it was told to me. Kaya, sa